Hello, just a little tutorial video today. I put on Tracy Fox's group that I'd made loads and loads of little tassels, and I thought I'd just come on and show you how I make my tassels. So I've got a couple of pairs of pliers, a pair of scissors and some jump rings. This was a huge packet of embroidery floss I got off the internet. I think this cost me £8 and there is so much in it. I've used probably half of this by now. You get a free sewing kit with it. Oh, that's where the rest of my jump rings went. And lots of lovely colours. So I recommend this. I think I got this off of Amazon or eBay, possibly eBay. But yeah, have a look around for DSL. That's the make. I think we'll do a yellow one. Or maybe orange. Yeah, let's do orange. So I'm going to shift that out of the way. First thing I do is take a length of thread off, probably arm length. Chop that off. And out of this, I separate out two of the thinner strands. If you're not aware of embroidery thread, each thread is made of 6 thin threads, and to take them out one by one, you just separate one out and pull. Don't try and do more than one, because it will go just turn into a knot, which nobody needs. So I take my skein of thread, put through my 2 thinner threads, tie a knot, not too tight, and then wrap the short end of thread around maybe 2 or 3 times, as many I can manage and still leave a tail. Put the longer thread through in the opposite direction, and then just do another double knot. So now, I don't know if that will focus, but now I have this. Next thing is I take my ends and I wrap, this is the only fiddly bit, my long end through. After I've gone around a couple of times, make a loop, pull the end through, and I pull that tight, and then I separate out my 2 threads, just lay that down and do a double knot, and then I always flip it over and do that again. And then I cut this off. I don't cut a short length off of this, I leave it quite long, because then it just sort of disappears into the rest of the tassel, whereas if you have a short end, it's a lot harder to hide it. So, the side, all my bits, pop that through, double knot, wrap the short end around a few times, then the long end, oh, where have I gone? I've lost it. Come back. There we are. Short end the other way, and then at the top another double knot. Then grab your bundle, wrap around the top, do a loop, pull the thread through, tight, separate those strands, pull them round, one double knot, flip it over, and do, oh, let's pull round. Where are you going, matey? Drag you around this side again. 1, 2. And then I get out my jump rings. And I need 2. Grab my pliers, twist open the jump ring, push the hook through, through the top knotted section we did earlier, and then twist close the jump ring. I'm assuming everybody knows the correct way to open and close a jump ring. And basically you twist it open like that rather than, so hang on, you twist it open like that rather than like that. If you do it that way, it's hard to bring it back to a circle again. If you do it that way, it's far simpler. So, just as a personal preference, just for tassels really, I always flatten my 2 meeting ends. I think it brings the 2 ends closer and means that the thread can't get through, but it's a personal preference. I'm not going to say that's the hard and fast best way to do it. It's my preference. So, twist open the jump ring. Oh. Push my end through the top knotted section. Bring my ends together and then I squash it. And then flip your jump ring round so that the 2 meeting ends are buried inside there. Next thing I do is then cut the paper off, and then I fold my double-ended beast in half, slip my scissors arm up the middle, chop it in half. Now I am going to be honest, I don't worry too much about these being perfectly in line. you know, that's your decision. I don't think they look bad. A little bit scraggy. I just take the really long bits off. And these, obviously, then you can put them on a clasp and hang them off, or you can do what I've done here. I attach them to a pom-pom, and then because I have this love of broken jewellery, and I often buy it and just take it to pieces and then just use the bits for odds and ends. So this was a bit of a broken necklace, and I've just attached it to the top, and you've got a nice pom-pom. That's a simpler one with a tassel and a pom-pom and a bead. And that's a tassel made out of wooden shards off an old necklace. And then there's just a bead on the top. If you want to know how to attach a pom-pom to your tassel, basically you need a largest jump ring, quite a nice big one, and you push it through your central tied section of wool. So when you make your pom-pom, you've got all these fluffy ends, but it's all held together with one woolen band. You pass your jump ring through that band both sides, and then you just have to, you know, fluff it back around so that it's all fine. But then, you know, that's the joy of pom-poms. I do love a pom-pom almost as much as I love a tassel. So anyway, that was my technique. 2 tassels out of every skein of embroidery thread. I always buy relatively cheap embroidery thread. For embroidery, it matters to have, you know, nice stuff if you're doing something, but if you're not doing embroidery, it really doesn't matter how good this is. And this is perfectly strong. And then what I do, so now I've got, you know, like 4 little threads on here. You'll see I have a little paper clip, and these are all my odds and ends of different colours. And I just cut this in half, add that to my group, and then this will make, you know, another 1 or 2 tassels that will be multicoloured. And if you look, this is the latest journal I've made. That is exactly what this is. That is a tassel made up of odds and ends from making tassels. So they're those extra thin bits, and I just think that looks so nice. This was a pom-pom made out of very good wool, which just matches beautifully. So I think that's another great thing you can do with the bits that otherwise you'd lose. So there you go. I hope you found that useful. I think tassels is a great thing to just do while you're at home watching telly. You know, it's just a, you know, very simple thing that you can just get in the rhythm of, and then you end up with a huge box of tassels like mine. And you know, who knows what I'm going to do with them other than make a zillion journals to put them onto. But you know, do first, worry about the rest later. That's, oh god, yeah. I was going to say that's my motto, but that's a bit too close for comfort, frankly. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you soon.